An issue on the ballot this Tuesday could be a matter of life or death, at least according to some officials. Good evening and thanks for watching tonight. I'm Todd Blackington. There are several key issues on the ballot in Bannock County, but for some there is none bigger than the one involving the ambulance district. The population in the county is growing both in numbers and in size, and that's creating more stress on a system that we all rely on when we need it most. Phil Campbell's following this issue for us. He's got more for us tonight from Fire Station 1.
The need for an additional ambulance is very real. There were several occasions just last year in which safety was compromised because of a lack of resources. The population of Bannock County is growing. In the last 30 years, the county has grown by nearly 20,000 people. The calls have gone up too. During the span, calls have more than doubled, but the staffing remains at the same level that it did in 1978. Needless to say, the stress on the system is reaching an alarming level.
The issue is that we continue to see an increase in call volume, and we just simply cannot cover the call volume that we're extending time and time again. I mean, we've been 67 times without any protection in the city of Pocatello or in the county because everybody's been out on calls. We've had 5 or 6 stacked calls now, which means basically we can't get to those people in a timely manner. They're having to wait on an ambulance. So we're at a critical crossroads.
The levy would amount to a $16 increase per $100,000 in assessed property value. It would allow the ambulance district to add an additional advanced life support unit and crew, bringing the total to 3 units for the county. If the levy fails, Chief Irwin fears that things will only get worse.
You know, we have very little. Basically what's going to happen is people are going to have to, as we continue to see our increase in call volume, people are going to have to wait for an ambulance. I mean, I don't know how to discuss it or describe it other than that. We've seen this happen over the past year. The year that we asked for the levy, we hadn't stacked any calls yet. This year we've stacked 5 or 6 calls now. And we'll probably end up around the 8 or 9 mark that we've stacked for the year, depending on how the rest of the year goes. But certainly we don't see any lessening of the call volume or anything next year as well.
Now, an interesting statistic, the amount of EMS calls has increased by 275% since 1978, and that number's only expected to increase. Reporting from Pocatello, Phil Campbell, KPVI News 6.
Of course, voters will have the chance to vote on that measure Election Day, which is this Tuesday, and we'll have more political coverage as it relates to the Pocatello City Council coming up in a few minutes.